Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my MotoGP 19 mod career mode here today for round number 16 of the season for the Japanese Grand Prix at Motegi. If you guys missed the last race, round 15, then do check out the episode, guys, in the top right hand corner of your screen for the Thailand GP at Buriram. With that being said though, we're now going to move into this weekend here at Japan. We don't have any upgrades on the bike. As you can see by the R&D points in the top right hand corner of the screen, we have plenty of points to spend there. And in terms of the championship, we are currently first, but Dovi is still very close and the pressure is on. It's a two-way fight between myself and the Italian. Viñales and Marquez are kind of outsiders in a way. We'll quickly look at the standings here and you'll see what I mean. Dovi's 9 points behind and we've still got 3 more races to go after this one. And then Viñales and Dovi Viñales and Marquez need a win realistically to try and, keep their championship hopes alive. And yeah, we're going to see how it goes. But here at Motegi though, it's a track that I don't particularly enjoy that much, but I've always had okay pace around it. So we're going to see how it goes. But first of all, we're going to tackle practice and make sure we hit those practice programs and set a lap that's good enough to go straight into Q2. With that being said though, let's jump into things here and let's see how it goes. It's time for the Japanese Grand Prix. Right, so we're currently midway through FP1 and we have hit all of our practice programs. Here are the test results to confirm it. And there we go, maximum score once again. Now we're going to move back onto the racetrack because I think I can improve my time a little bit. If we look at the overall lap times here, we'll see what I mean. And I'm currently fastest by half a second over Viñales. I reckon I can get that lap down to like a 41.5, I think. And that should be easily good enough for Q2. So that being said, let's jump back to the racetrack and try and improve on that 41.9 if possible. And that way we should go straight into Q2. Right, there we go. I finally set a pretty decent lap there. Finally, it took me so many attempts. If you look at the clock, how many, how much time we've lost. I could not get a clean lap in. I kept on hitting traffic every single time. Someone coming out the pit lane, someone on a cool down lap, or a slow bike we caught up. But finally, we got a decent lap in. It took me so long to get some clean. I mean, even Dovi went down right in front of me on the lap. So it wasn't ideal, but we've got there in the end, the 41.1, and that'll be good enough now for qualifying quite easily. So let's call it a day here in practice, and let's jump into Q2. Right, here we are then for Q2 for the Japanese Grand Prix qualifying, and it's a wet session, which is going to make things very interesting. We're going to have to readapt to the track conditions and see how things go, but that's going to make it very, very tasty. Let's jump into it though, and let's see how we get along, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we could try and once again get another pole position in this season. Completely misjudged that. I broke way too late even for the dry, that one. Really, really poor. I'm going to push on though on this lap. I should probably still have a competitive lap because the AI don't normally set fast laps very early on, so let's get used to the conditions here. The track feels horrific. Oh, I'm wide again there. Luckily we don't run off the track. There's no run off there, so good thing we didn't run too deep. We are flying on this lap though. This is a very solid banker in terms of overall feel. I think, if you take away the first corner mistake and running deep just a moment ago, it's been an okay lap. But there's definitely like another 3 seconds on the lap though to shave off. So maybe not 3, maybe like 2 seconds. But let's end this one on a high anyway and try and see where this lap puts us first of all. There's so much less grip in the wet than there is in the dry though. This is a track especially where I notice a difference in the conditions. But as you can see across the line, we do go fastest with a 48.5. This time, we're not going to run deep into turn 1. Actually, we asked a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as last time. So there we go. That's not too bad. Now let's try and find some more lap time. I reckon a low 47 is possible. They are starting to drop in lap time now. There you go. A high 47 from Petrucci. Let's see what we can do here as we come through the final few corners. It's going to be close with Danilo, I think. My lap. Not the best exit. Up to the line. Here we go. Do we improve on Petrucci? Not quite. We just miss out as Dovi actually sets at 0.3. So the benchmark has been lowered. And that's a pretty strong lap from Dovi, to be fair. Let's see if we can get anywhere near it. But that's going to be a hard lap to beat, I think. So far it's been a perfect lap, a little bit deep into the V corner there, but we're still looking good. Let's keep it together. Come on. On the power there. We're looking good. This is a good lap so far. Let's try and hold on to this. Let's not throw it away. I can break a little bit later into this corner, I think. Oh, I'm sideways, but that is better. That's much better than before. Final few corners here. Take it easy. Let's not throw it all away now. Through the chicane. On the power. Come on. Short shift to avoid the wheelie. That's a good exit. There we go. We are going to improve. 46.8. We lower the benchmark. That's good stuff. And to be fair, that was a near perfect lap. So I don't think there's much more to shave off of that. I'm going to come to the pit lane and see if anybody else improves around me. But I think that could be the one. Okay, so with 2 minutes to go, I think we're looking good here for pole position. So I'm going to stay in the box. We're looking comfortable. No one's improved for quite a while now. Though he did improve literally as I did my in-lap, but he hasn't improved since, and nobody else has really improved. So I think we're looking at AI probably on the max of what they can do. So I'm going to take a risk here and say that's good enough, and I think that should be okay for pole position. Right, so there we have it then. We have secured pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. The usual suspects of Dovi and Marquez on the front row with me there, and Vinales P4 as well, not too far behind. Crutchlow P5, Joan Mir P6, and Petrucci, Rins and Rossi on the third row. But all in all, that is your grid for the race tomorrow, with the only man into the 146s in the wet. But now let's find out if the race is going to be wet or dry, and that's going to make things very interesting, because if it's a wet race, it could be a tricky one based off of qualifying. I was on the limit there, and it's not very often I'm on the absolute limit. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully it's a dry race and it's a little bit easier for me. With that being said, let's jump into things here and let's get into the race.
We are moving now to the starting grid, where the MotoGP riders are ready to start the race. Tension is sky high, but these guys are seasoned pros, able to withstand any kind of pressure.
Indeed, pressure is on, and here we are then at Motegi. Luckily enough for us, it's a dry race. Beautiful sunny conditions in the land of the rising sun. And in terms of the strategy there, I'm going to go for a medium hard on my tyres for the bike here today, because I feel like we're going to have to push a little bit today. I don't think the pace is entirely there. And I had a lot of incidents in practice, and it's not my best track. It really isn't. I'm quite scruffy around here, so it's going to take a lot of work, and also it might take a few mistakes to get it right. With that being said, though, let's jump into things here, and let's try and get the job done, and try and win the race.
With the riders on the starting grid, the countdown begins until the lights go off. Just a few moments to go, and the Japanese Grand Prix will be...
Right, here we go. Clutch pulled, first gear selected, the 5 lights are on for the Japanese Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go here at Motegi, and it's not too bad of a start to be fair. We kind of matched Dovi. We're going to take a wide entry to switch back underneath and pick up the inside line. Dovi and Marcus trying to squeeze me there, but we're just going to come out on top. Run the wide line there, try and squeeze off Dovi. I need to get this early apex there for turn 3 if I can. That's where you want to be. Dovi trying to go down the inside. Marcus as well. There's contact behind. Marcus runs wide. We're going to hold on to first place though, and we're going to get a nice little gap out already here. As you can see on the minimap there, 0.4 of a second. We've managed to clear the ones behind. Let's try and survive this break zone. I need to get as much of a gap as possible before we arrive onto the back straight and down towards the braking zone after the back straight, because I'm so poor on the break through there. I need to get a really big gap here to make sure I've got a safety buffer. So far, a really good start actually. On one of my worst tracks, I've actually had one of my best ever starts to be fair, and I've held on to first place. Let's try and keep pushing though. I've got to obviously switch these harder tyres on as well, which is not going to be easy. Into the V corner. We're doing well so far though. The gap's opening up quite nicely here, and Dovi's down a P5 I just saw, so he's dropping through the field a bit. Hairpin, let's get the bike down on the power, focus on the exit. There we go, that's good stuff. Right, we've got a nice little gap actually. This brake zone now is where I'm not particularly great and I do struggle. So this is a good thing I've got a nice buffer to the AI, because I can brake at my own speed. So even then I just went too wide and the AI brakes so much later than me. Luckily enough we've got, like I said, a nice gap to work with, and we stay in front untroubled through the chicane then. And that's the end of lap number 1 in the books. Marcus down a P6, so that's interesting. Let's see the order now as we cross the start finish. And it's Vinales in P2, Dovi's P4, Rossi's up to P3 from P9 on the grid. The Doctor having a fantastic start in the Yamaha there, but there we go. Vinales is P2, so that's fine by me. My nearest rival Dovi is way down the order, so that's fantastic. Now let's try and get ahead on. Screw it on straight more like, and let's try and open up a gap to Vinales if I can, although he's trying to keep close company here. I need to try and find some pace and pull away from the Yamaha if possible, and try and win this race in comfortable fashion. If that's possible, I want to try and do it. We need to win big time, because that would really put pressure on Dovi. Okay, then setting the pace, 42.4. Not great pace, but the pace is being set nonetheless. Dovi and Rossi still battling behind. Also, Vinales is still keeping me close company here and not letting me go just yet. I'm going to try and stretch him though this lap if I can. Having said that, that's a huge mistake running in super wide there. Just as I said, I was going to try and stretch Vinales. Okay, now let's try and stretch him. I'm starting to find my confidence a little bit though, so I want to try and test myself a little bit. There we go, that's much better. Even with that mistake you just saw me make before, 41.5. That's the kind of race pace I need to be doing. That's more like it. Let's keep that pace going. Oof, that was really scary for a second there. I overdid that completely. Kept my foot planted. Somehow we still held on. Also, I've looked at the right hand side of the screen. Siren and Oliveira in the points, which is good. So they're 14th and 15th, I believe, at the minute. So if they can keep on doing that, that'd be fantastic for us as a team. There we go, another good lap there, 41.4. That's more like it. Setting another fast up at the Grand Prix, which is good. And the gap to Vinales is now starting to really grow. Also, Dovi now has held on and pretty comfortably now to P3, and he's starting to put the pressure on Vinales a little bit. So Dovi could be pushing P2 here. Or not. Oh my god, he's gone down. Dovi's crashed. Right, that's huge for the championship. With 3 more races to go after this, Dovi's hit the deck somehow. Look at that, he's down to P7 now, so luckily he crashed now and not at the start of the race. If you crash at the start of the race, you've got to make your way through the entire pack, but at this point the pack would have stretched out a little bit, so Dovi's down to P7, so he can still recover. But Dovi was looking good for P2. I did say he was pushing on. I wanted to be pushed a little bit too much. Siren is still holding on to P13 there. Oliveira is trying to hold on to P15. It's very close. Either way, we're looking good here for the race win. Every single one of my laps has been a 41.5 or a 41.6, and this lap is going to be no different. A 41.4. Super consistent pace, and I'm doing it so easily now. I'm not even pushing. I can just do these laps over and over and over again. Vinales still P2. Rossi and Marcus are currently squabbling for the last step on the podium, and Dovi is still battling out with Petrucci. So things are looking pretty good here on this end of the spectrum, and I'm quite comfortable, to be honest. The bike's working well, and I've got no issues at all, so it's looking good at the minute, really good. Oh, the front end almost tucked in there, so close, but we're holding on here. I'm still pushing because I want to try and, you know, dominate this race. At the minute it looks like Rins and Inno are battling for the final point, so I don't think Oliveira is involved anymore. Siren is still P13 or P14 though, as we set our fights up at the Grand Prix there, out of nowhere. 2 laps to go though. I'm going to now try and turn it down a little bit and try and bring it home, to be honest. Here we go then into the final sector, and right on the last lap, Dobby's getting a move on. He's challenging Valentino Rossi for P4. Meanwhile, we've dominated the race. It's been comfortable in the end. A few scares here and there, and a few leery moments, like I said there would be, but we had to take risks, and it's paid off. A good strong lap, opening lap, pays off for us, and we're going to come through to win the Japanese Grand Prix here at Motegi, and it's another 25 points for us. The question is, who comes second, who came third, and does Oliveira make points, and does Siren make it into the points? Let's find out, and let's look at the final race results here after that incredible race at Japan. There we have it then. We do win the race. Confirmation as we bring home the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. Vinales P2, Marquez P3. Valentino Rossi does hold on to P4 ahead of Dovi, and then we've got Lorenzo, Petrucci, John Mir and Johan Zarco running off the top 9 there. Then we've got Crutchlow, Miller, Bagnaia, Espargaro, Rins, Siren P15. So right on the last lap, Siren went from P13 to P15, but he does score a single point there in the other Tech3 KTM. Iannone P16, Quattraro 17th, and Oliveira in the end down in P18. So he was close for points, but in the end it didn't really work out. And then we've got Espargaro, Rabat, Nakagami, Abram and Morbidelli at the back of the pack. And in terms of what the race means for the Riders' Championship, we are 23 points clear of Andrea Dovizioso with 3 more races to go. Things are looking good here. Vinales and Marquez are looking pretty much mathematically out of contention now, and that is really good news for us. In terms of the Team Championship, we extend our lead over Ducati, and we're now 30 points clear of the Italian machines, which is really good. And Yamaha are actually putting some late pressure on Ducati there in the championship. And in terms of the Team Championship, we remain in P4, but there we go. Yamaha pretty much looking nailed on to win the Constructors here unless something absolutely horrific happens to them, and Pramac overtake LCR Honda there further down the table, and Honda looking pretty comfortable in P3 there as well. But with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of the MotoGP Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like on the video, guys, and also get subscribed for daily Formula 1 and MotoGP content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.